What's up everyone, and welcome to this video. In this one I'm going to show you how I took a bass drum foot pedal and a hi-hat foot pedal and turned them into a Cajon foot pedal. So stay tuned. Okay, so what I've got here is an old Pearl foot pedal and an old Yamaha hi-hat stand. So what I've done is I've stripped some of the componentry off. So I've taken the beater off, I have taken the rod out of the hi-hat stand. This part from a bicycle brake pedal just so happened to be exactly the same size as the hole inside the hi-hat stand pedal. And it just screwed in. So this was pretty lucky. I found in most cases in this project that the bike parts fitted the drum parts quite well and didn't need many modifications. So this part here is the part that holds the cable in place on the handbrake of the bike, and I've just screwed in the bottom nut to hold it in place. This angled part also came off the bike, and it was, I felt, an ideal way to get the cable to make this curve. So threading the cable through from the bottom up into the angled part and then in through the outer sleeve. Just a note on this, I actually had two attempts at this. This was using a gear cable which actually snapped at the end of the project while testing, so I ended up replacing it with the cable from the brakes. They were a lot thicker and a lot stronger. And there we have it, that's the foot pedal all finished. So on the foot pedal, this is the part that's going to go up against the Cajon. I basically stripped it right down, removed the pedal itself. This is an old 60s Pearl stand. Once again, this is just using anything that I had lying around, and in this case this was this. So each pedal that you use will be slightly different, but this is to give you an idea of the concept. So this is the first version. So as you can see, on the left is the rod that comes up, the cable comes through another cable holder up into a modified end which is having to have lying around and makes the foot pedal move. It turned out that this wasn't ideal. There wasn't enough flexibility in the system. The spring had a lot of work to do to bring the foot pedal back, and I found it just didn't respond too well to, say, double beats. In fact, after 5 minutes of playing, at the end of it, it actually broke. The silver end, which was also part of something that was in my drum box of bits, actually ended up coming loose quite often as well, because of the way it was trying to screw onto the end of the shaft for the foot pedal. So in version 2 I have basically done a bracket from side to side, and once again in the middle is the cable holder, and this was definitely a lot more stable, and it also enabled the cable to come straight up and into the foot pedal. So I've turned, I actually ended up having to trim the edge of that off, because when it was up against the Cajon it actually rubbed against it. So just using a Dremel, I ended up just filing away some of that so it didn't touch on the Cajon. Now where the arrow is pointing, that is where I basically put another bicycle part. It's just the bolt and clamp system. So as the cable came up and over, and I've put the cable inside a little plastic sleeve just to protect the cable from rubbing, it just clamps it onto the end there. It makes a very easy adjustment as well. And we come down to the bracket system. So that's a nice straight angle. The spring was very responsive after doing it this way, so I don't recommend doing it the other way. And all I did to attach it to the Cajon was a board and a bracket coming out, and the bottom of the foot pedal where it used to have a clamp, it just screwed straight through the top there with a wing nut. Keeps it nice and sturdy, and on the end of the shaft I have a rubber ball to make a nice deep bass sound. So that's it, but essentially this project cost me nothing. I had everything lying around at home. So on this next part of the video will just be a short test to show you how it sounds and how it works.